Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and as you can see by the title, today I'm going to be chatting about my bullet journal, stationery essentials and my basic spreads. I had a few people asking me on Instagram to do a little video like this, so I'm finally sitting down to do it. Sorry for the wait, but I'm finally going to get into my stationery essentials and the spreads I use for my bullet journaling. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into some bullet journaling. Okay, first things first is, what is a bullet or dot journal? So it's basically a way to keep lists, to keep yourself organized. So I started bullet journaling about 2 years ago. I think this is my second full year of doing it, and I found that it was so much easier to have a journal instead of a diary that had days on, with like a fixed set of rules. When you do bullet journaling, you can create your own rules and customize your own lists to your needs. So I am not a bullet journaling expert, however, my camera, sorry man. I'm not a bullet journaling expert, however, I will put some resources in the description that will explain bullet journaling more in depthly. I will also add a channel for those that want to do a bit more of an artistic bullet journaling, which is what I do, and I will put some of those resources in the description so you can go check those YouTube channels out, get some inspiration, and then also more information about exactly what bullet journaling is. But first things first, you're obviously going to need a few things to get started. So here are my stationery essentials. Number one, of course, obviously, it is a dot journal or bullet journal, but in stores they usually call it a dot journal. So it is one that has dot grids. I'll insert a little clip here of what it looks like. So it's basically little dots that run diagonally and vertically along the pages, and there's nothing else in it, so it gives you the freedom to customize and do what you want and what works for you on a daily or monthly basis. So first things first, grab a dot journal. I usually go for one that has a GSM of 160. GSM refers to the thickness of the page. If you're going to be doing minimalist bullet journaling, then you don't really need to worry about the thickness of the pages, because you're just going to be jotting your lists down and having your dates there. So, but if you are going to be more artistic and add some color and drawing and doodlings, then I do recommend one with a GSM of 60 and 160 and higher, just so that you don't get page bleed or like transference when you're using your markers, and then you like do something on one page and it ends up on the other side. So having a GSM of 160 and up gives you the freedom to use any kind of markers without having any of those bleeds or transfers onto other pages. So that is number one. Then number two, this is for both minimalist bullet journalers and your ones that are going to be more artistic. It is obviously a fine liner. So I use the one from Scripto Apex, and this is a 0.4 fine liner. I do enjoy 0.4 because it gives me a thinner tip, just so that I can have smaller handwriting and have as much information within my grids on my bullet journal. I love this one. They're usually quite affordable, this brand, and they usually come in a pack of 4. You end up using your fine liner the most, because this is how you're going to make your notes, and even your headings you're going to be using a fine liner for. So make sure that you have them on hand. I usually get the Scripto ones because they usually come in a pack of 4 or 3, and then I'll use that 4 or 3 basically over like 4 or 5 months. So that is my fine liner of choice. Then the next one, this is just for me because I prefer planning my spreads out before I go in with a pen, and it is a lead mechanical pencil. This is for planning, and I use one that is a 0.5 lead size, just so that it is light and not too thick on the pages. I do have a heavy hand when it comes to writing, so I prefer using a thinner mechanical pencil with a lid of 0.5 so that it is easy to erase after I go in with my markers or with my fine liner. So that is number 3. Then number 4, it is a white gel pen. I love doing this because I love having those dark black boxes and having white writing in them. I think it looks so cool, especially for my yearly spread. So the stuff that I have in the beginning of my bullet journal, I usually go in with black and white, very basic and simple because it's mainly my lists, and then some other spreads that I enjoy having that I will show you later. But yeah, so I love this little gel pen. This is the Jelly Roll 10 Sakura. This comes in a pack of 3, so it comes with a 10, a 8 and a 5, so that just refers to the thickness of the pen. But I really love these. I got this at P&A. They're quite hard to find, but I'm sure you can get them on Takealot as well. So that is my white gel pen. Then I recently picked these up, but I had others when I started bullet journaling, but I found these to be so bomb, and I'm so grateful for Typo for coming through and seeing that bullet journaling is a real thing. They just brought out these little dual end markers. The one end, I'm going to take one out. So they have 3 kinds. So they have the neons, then they have these ones, which is the neutrals, and then they also have the pastels. So I have the pastels and I have the neutrals. So this is a dual end pen. So the one side is a brush pen, which is great for your easy calligraphy and also for even your shading and coloring. And then the other side is a fine liner with the same color. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see that fine line. But these brush pens are really cool for just adding some pops of color to your bullet journaling. If you are like me and do it in a bit more artistic way, then these brush pens are super cool to have on hand. You can also try some different lettering with your fine liners and with your brush pens. It's really fun to have that. Then the last thing on my list is my washable markers. So because I'm not always guaranteed about the GSM I'm gonna get, I really love having washable markers because there is limited bleed, so it doesn't matter really how thick the page is. These washable markers don't really bleed through the page. So if you want to make sure that your pages remain clean and there's no bleed, make sure that you get washable markers. So they will either say like washable or water resistant, meaning they won't bleed really through. So I enjoy these. Are the Giotto Turbo Maxi washables. I have these in multitudes of colors. I actually got this as a Christmas gift last year from Emmanuel. Yeah, so these have really come in handy. I really enjoy using these. These have a very thick tip though, so I would recommend that you they have the smaller version of this, but I love the jumbo just for the big sort of coloring in that I love doing in my bullet journaling. So that is my stationery essentials. It's very simple, it's not a lot of things. I have so much stationery because I love doing it in a more creative way, but these are the basics that you need. If you just have this, for example, you can do so many spreads of so many like different themes and varieties. So just having like brush pens and you are good to go. You don't need to have too much stationery. I'm just a stationery hoarder. Now I'm gonna get into these spreads that I like having and that I find essential to my bullet journaling. I'm gonna break them down into the basic monthly spreads that you can have and then the basic yearly spreads. So I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer, do a little drop down, and you can see the spreads that I enjoy having. Okay, so let's get into the basic monthly spreads that I enjoy having in my bullet journal. The first thing, I usually go in with a quote page. This is just a little motivation for me for the month. I really love having quotes that are either from songs or stuff that I usually hear around and I find funny. It's not necessarily a motivational quote that I usually have, but I love having quotes in here just to give me that extra oomph for the month. For the month of November, I went in with You're So Golden by a lyric from one of Harry Styles' songs. I really love that song at the moment, so I thought that would be perfect for the month of November. Then the next one is a theme page or a monthly page. So I have a little calendar over there just of the month of November so I can keep track of my dates. Then I will have like November as my title page, and then I will have it in Korean as well because I am currently learning how to speak Korean. But I love having this little mood moment just to show off what the theme is for the month. I decided to go with something a little basic because I was busy towards the end of October. So I just did a little, this is sort of that homage to that Instagram filter. So I had these little markers on hand, so I decided to just do this little dot theme with the 4 different colors. And that is my monthly spread and my quote page. Then the next page I will usually have is a mood tracker and a habit tracker. So these are just the trackers that I have. I have 4 little moods that I want to keep track of. As you can see, for the month of November, I have been struggling with some tiredness and a little anxiety. I think towards the end of the year we all feel a little like that. Then I will have some of my YouTube content here so that I know what videos to film and when they are going to be up on the channel. These change all the time, so this looks a total mess at the moment. Then I will have my habit tracker. So these are the habits that I am trying to keep up with. As you can see, I am doing fairly well for myself, I'm not gonna lie. Patting myself on the back right now. So some of the habits are Korean, doing little light workouts, going outside for fresh air, drinking water, having prayer time, and then obviously reading at least a page a day. Yeah, so I am really happy with how my habit tracker is looking for the month of November. Another one you can also do is a gratitude log. A lot of people do those. Yeah, so you can also add that to your bullet journal as like one of the basic spreads. Then I will go in and have my weekly spread. So this is my to-do list. As you can see, if it's colored in, that means it was actually done that day. If I have white, then I know I didn't do it and I migrated it to another day. So that little arrow means migrated. So that means I did it the next day, and the dots are black. So that's how I know. If I striped it out, that means that is something I changed my mind on and didn't want to do anymore. Yeah, so that is how my weekly spreads look. Oh, there's a sneak peek of December. But yeah, so that is my weekly spread. So those are the basic monthly things I have in my bullet journal. And now I'm gonna just go through some of the basic yearly spreads that I have at the beginning of my bullet journal. So let's flip through, sneak peek, flip through to the beginning. Okay, number 1 is having a grid space cheat sheet. So numbering the dots, knowing where are your halves, your thirds, your quarters, just so that you can have even distribution when you are creating your different kinds of spreads. So this is a nice handy tool to have in the beginning of your bullet journal. Then I have a 2020 goals page. You can either have this on a monthly basis. I just prefer to have it on a yearly basis, just so that I don't put too much pressure on myself to have too many goals. So these are the different goals I have with regards to finance, fitness, health, personal, relationships, career, and mental wellness. So this is my goals page for 2020. When I go to my mid-year, I have a little page there where I reassess these goals, sort of do like a mid-year check-in with myself and see if anything of these have been accomplished, or whether I need to redo it, or if I feel like they have become fully irrelevant for the year, which is what most of us are feeling right now because of, that was Rona. Then I have something which is called my year in Polaroids. This isn't something that you have to do, but I found that this was so beautiful to have in my bullet journal, just to capture certain moments and then have them in here in picture form and have little notes. As you can see, January we took our first trip to Durban. Layla had her first birthday in February. So I just have these little like photos that I usually get printed, and then I have little descriptions of what that month meant to me. So I feel like it's great to have this little reminder of what is good and amazing in life. Then I have a things to check out page that I jot down all the movies, TV shows, music, and books that I want to read throughout the year. This is just for the first half of the year. I have another one in the middle where I do my half and my biannual check-in. I have another version of this. Then I also have a little thing that's called places I went to, just to jot down all the places I went to. I was hoping that this would have been fuller, but we didn't really get to go anywhere after March and lockdown and the pandemic and all that. So I just have Durban, and then we went on a little game drive around Port Elizabeth. So that is my places I went to and things to check out. And that is the end of the video. I know it was a bit of a long one, but I really wanted to get into the gist of bullet journaling so you guys can go and try it as well. If you are going to be doing bullet journaling, make sure that you post those pictures on Instagram. Make sure you tag me at Gabriella Jaftha _. I would love to share that in my stories and check what you guys are doing in your bullet journals. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to the channel to know when new videos are up. Vlogmas is starting on the 1st of December, I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of vlogs, a lot of content coming up on the channel. Really excited to share it with you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!